This is so irritating. And I thought I knew technology a little better than I do, but obviously I don't. Mm, mm, mm. Uh, I gotta change the link because the link that I sent is not working. Mm, mm, mm. So sorry, y'all. Now I can't find the event. This is fantastic. Okay. All right. I don't know if anyone's here or watching. I'm also going to see if it's, I don't know why it's not live on Facebook. Mm, mm, mm. Ooh, I'm annoyed. I am scared. And I literally sat here and practiced this for the last 20 minutes. And it never goes right. Ugh. I don't know what's happening. I have no freaking clue why this is not working for me. I am so sad. I am so sad and I can't. I posted it in the Facebook group, the invite group, but uh, oh. Uh, mm, mm, mm. I hate when stuff like this happens. And now I feel like I am talking to myself. Like I'm really, really, really annoyed by this. It is 7:12. Mm, mm, mm. All right. I'm just going to go ahead and go forth because I have wasted enough time with all of these technical difficulties and things that are not working. I am very visibly annoyed, and I'm sorry about that. I need to figure out how to do live events better because this whole idea of this not working is really hurting my feelings. So, um, I got to figure this out for next time. But we are here. I am here. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. Ugh, I need to go on my Instagram. Um, post this new link on Instagram and then I'm gonna move on because uh, all right. Okay, there are people watching. Praise God. All right, everybody. I am so sorry. I just got so visibly annoyed and thrown off because the live link that I put isn't the live link that's showing up. And I thought that I practiced all of this. I've been sitting here for like 30 minutes, making sure everything was set up, making sure everything was ready to go. And as soon as I hit record, everything went to shit. So with the three people that are here, the two people that are here, thank you. Welcome to Rhonda on the Rocks Live. I am back for another episode of Rhonda on the Rocks Unfiltered. And I'm happy to be here. Thank you to the people that are watching. Thank you to the people who are bearing with me. Thank you to the people who are giving me grace in this season, because it is nothing like trying to put all of this stuff together. My heart was beating out of my chest. I am sweating profusely under this hat and wig. However, the show must go on, and the show is going on right now. So welcome to Rhonda on the Rocks Live and Unfiltered. If you are in the chat, go ahead and drop a heart, some type of emoji, something. Let me know that you are here and that you are watching, so I know who I'm talking to tonight. First order of business, doing a little housekeeping things before we get started. First, if you are looking to get Rhonda on the Rocks merch, it is 25% off for the remainder of Black History Month. So you have until Friday to get your Rhonda on the Rocks merch for 25% off. You can get this fancy hat that says certified yapper. You can get this hoodie. The hat comes in a couple of different colors. It comes in this wash, and it's like a denim material. And then there's a black like denim material, as well as like a medium wash, so like a darker blue. You can get all of this on my online store. So get your merch. There's glasses, there's water bottles, there's all kinds of stuff on there. So make sure you get your merch. Let's see. Also, if you are not subscribed to my YouTube, please subscribe to my YouTube. Also follow me on Instagram, on Facebook, on TikTok at Rhonda on the Rocks. Make sure that you put the H in Rocks, H in Rhonda, Rhonda on the Rocks. Follow me on all of those platforms. Exciting news. Really excited to share that I will be a guest on 2 podcasts upcoming. I'll share more as those podcasts come out and as the date gets closer. But both of the podcasters are Black women, which I'm really, really excited about. You know, I'm a girl's girl. And so I like to support Black women. And so both podcasts that I'll be a guest on are Black women, and I'm super excited about that. Like I said, I will share more information about what those podcasts are and like what we're going to talk about and all of that stuff as the dates get closer. So get excited. Shout out to me and shout out to these Black women podcasters, because we out here doing our thing. Being a podcaster is hard. As you can see, it took me like 14 minutes to get started because for some reason everything went haywire tonight, and it really kind of put a little damper on my mood, but I'm gonna press forward. Let's see, is there any other things for housekeeping? Not that I have on my list. Please know that this is an interactive live. You talk to me, I'll talk back, we'll engage in discussion. We don't want to just hear my opinion and what I have to say about everything. I want to hear your opinion. I want to know what you have to say. What's up, bestie? Shout out to Gregory. I don't know if he's in the room. Gregory Pruitt, my little godson, who is also a fan of the Rhonda on the Rocks show. I think I can say that. But shout out to you, Gregory. Hey. So yes, that is that. I don't think there's any other housekeeping things. Also, if you could like this video, this podcast video, there's like a little thumbs up and a thumbs down. If you can hit the thumbs up for me, the 7 people that are watching, that would be absolutely amazing. I also don't know how fast the comments are coming in. It's hard for me to tell because I'm using a platform. I'm not streaming directly from YouTube. So if I don't see your comment right away, it's not because I'm like dissing you or like not trying to talk to you, but it's because I'm using a platform and I don't know how fast or how slow those messages or the comments come in. So I do ask for your grace and that you bear with me during this tumultuous time. All righty. Let's go ahead and move on. All right. So what do I have on the rocks today? Funny, I have on the rocks. On the rocks, the brand, premium cocktail brand, they came out with a lemon drop martini. This lemon drop martini is 20% alcohol by volume, and it is 40 proof. So I've already had 2 sips, and I'm feeling wet. Feeling moist, sweaty, that is, because it's very, very strong. And it also tastes really good. So on the rocks is in my glass. I figured it comes in like a bottle like this, but had to class it up a little bit and put it in a martini glass. So cheers. For those of you who are drinking tonight and not driving, because we don't do that. For those of you who are drinking tonight, go ahead and drop in the comments what you are drinking as we move on to the weekend rundown. All right. This weekend in particular has been pretty uneventful. Yesterday, I attempted to do some cleaning. I got the kitchen done, and then I tapped out because I just wasn't interested in cleaning up anything else after that. And then I did nothing. I sat, I scrolled, I made some TikTok videos, I made some Instagram posts. Yesterday, I spent a lot of time on social media and did some research for today. I should have been practicing setting my stuff up today, but it happens. Did some research and stuff for today so that I could be prepared. And today I went to church, hung out with my boo, and came home to get the show started. Last weekend, though, however, was busy back to back to back to back to back. Saturday night, I went to a friend of mine's Galentine/birthday party. And that was a good time. We had like matching pajamas and matching robes, and there was hookah, and there was drinks, and there was twerking, and it was just a really, really good time. I got home at probably about 3:30 a.m. I also went to another Galentine's Day event the day before that, which I didn't get home until 3:30 a.m. So I don't know. I was just living my best life and having a blast last weekend. And then last Sunday, celebrated my sister's birthday. We went to like an indoor mini golf place here in Chicago. That was a good time. And then Monday, I drove to visit some family in Iowa. One of my favorite cousins lives there. Excuse me. And went there to visit her, spent some time with her, got like a hotel and hung out. That was an amazing time. And so got up Wednesday because I was supposed to be leaving, coming back to Chicago. And I decided that I was not ready to go. Like I left her house and maybe like 10 minutes to 3, like early afternoon, enough time for me to drive and get home at a decent time, pick up power and do what I needed to do. I got 5 minutes away from her house and was like, I just simply cannot do it. So turned my car around, came back, and yeah, I spent the rest of the evening with my family and got up at 3:00 in the morning and drove home on Thursday morning. So very, very eventful weekend last week. And week this week, and that's part of the reason why I did nothing yesterday, because I was absolutely exhausted. All right. Is anybody drinking anything in the comments? I didn't see anybody say anything. What you got on the rocks? Let me know. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. All right. Moving on. So we're going to jump into the segment called Love Bites. And I love that people send me videos, they send me posts, they send me all of this stuff, and like want to know my opinion and my thoughts on it. So this particular video that I'm going to play for the Love Bites section, I want to talk about this. I was a little hey, Cut Waters. I love Cut Waters. I was a little confused because the clip doesn't really give a lot of context. But what I did see was very disturbing, to say the least. So I'm going to let you guys see this video and then we'll talk about it. Here we go.
Tonight we are here to celebrate us. And I look good. Yeah, all right. Long story short, we just want... we appreciate everyone that came out tonight. We appreciate you guys for allowing this union to be here, and we love everyone in here. Sean, I've known you for 30 years. I love you, bro. Badu, known you for 30 years too. I'm half Haitian because of you. All right. I love you too. I got a bunch of other boys in here. I love y'all like brothers. All right. That's all I'm gonna say.
All right. All right, great, thank you.
All right. So essentially, it looks like there's a couple, they're at their wedding reception. They're thanking all of their guests and everyone for coming. And the groom says, "Thank you all for coming. I look good." And turns to his brand new bride, and says, "You look all right." And then goes on to thank his friends for coming to the wedding. Now, I have never been married. I've never been anybody's bride. But I'm certain that I would not have been able to stand there as my groom says to me in front of our friends and family and God and says, "You look all right." She did not she did not laugh. She didn't smile. She kind of had a look of disgust on her face, honestly. Like she looked like he's doing this in front of everyone. And so I was very shocked, one, and two, very saddened, because there are so many undercover narcissists, but to be bold and out loud about being a narcissist scares me. Clearly this is their dynamic. She did not seem surprised by his response. She did seem annoyed, but she definitely did not seem like, "Oh, I'm really surprised that he would act like this or respond like this at our wedding." So I'm not sure what I would have done in that moment, but I definitely would not have been pleased with his behavior in that moment. And I think that he his aggressiveness, even when she tried to take the mic and put it closer to his face, he was like, "Hey, what you doing?" There was a great deal of aggression there. in my opinion. I just didn't like appreciate how aggressive he was. He was kind of dismissive and downright disrespectful. Like, I can't imagine telling my husband in front of everyone on our wedding day, oh, you look all right. Baby, it's going to be, you are the finest thing that I've ever seen in my life. I cannot wait until everybody leaves so I can do what I'm supposed to do. That would have been me. I would have been whispering all kind of nasty nothings in his ear during the entire, like, I wouldn't have given room for him to feel anything other than the most handsome man in the world. And typically that would be reciprocated. Like, men break down and bawl in tears when they see their bride walking down that aisle. So something was wrong for him to say, you look all right. Like, did y'all have an argument prior to this? Like, what is going on? It was very, very disturbing to watch. I would love to know more, right? Like, I would love to see more. And you guys can feel free to comment, the people who are here, feel free to comment in the chat your thoughts. But I would love to hear her side of the story. I would love to hear her thoughts about why this happened or how she felt in that moment. I would also love to hear his side. Like, hopefully if there's like a part 2, part 3 of this, or if somebody has seen other videos connected to this, please tag me in this. Rhonda on the Rocks on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Excuse me. Please tag me, because I am very curious to know what else happened. Because I feel like there had to be more to this story than just this interaction that happened at the time to give speeches at their wedding reception. Also, like, if that was my sister and I was a bridesmaid, I would have still been whooping that nigga's ass. We would have been boxing, because how dare you disrespect my sister on her wedding day? And the bride looked gorgeous. She did not look bad. Like, she did not look bad at all. She looked absolutely gorgeous. So I was very, very surprised that nobody like addressed him. And again, it was just a small clip, but if it was my man or my sister, my friend, I would have never got up off that nigga. We would have been tussling right then and there, because who look okay? Like the little caption said, like, she made you look good. And it just goes to this point that, like, people always say, like, oh, women are so angry and women are so this, that, and the third. But this is sometimes the stuff that we have to deal with. And not all the time, right? Like, there are women that are just as cutthroat. Women that are just as cutthroat. I know people who have talked down to their man in front of whoever, embarrassed them, said stuff that they shouldn't have said in front of everyone. I know people personally who did that, and it was disgusting then. It was disgusting to watch then. So this is no different. But what would you do if that was your friend who was the bride and her now husband, this is the groom, said at their wedding in front of everyone, oh, you look okay? What would be your response? I would love to know. If you're in the comments, let me know. I would love to know what your thoughts would be if you saw something like that. Because for me, I would have something to say. Probably, maybe not in the moment, but if I had enough of these on the rock lemon drop martinis in me, ain't no telling. Ain't no telling. I probably would have said a whole lot. Talking about Uncle Phil needs to relax. He does. He does. Like, why? Why would you say that? Like, that's so mean, so disrespectful on a day that you chose to have. Like, you could have decided not to be married. You didn't have to have a wedding. You didn't have to get married. But you made a choice to do it, and then you show your ass? Nah. I can't handle that. Simply can't handle it. Not at all. So yeah, if it was my friend, if it was me as the bride, I'll start there. If it was me as the bride, I would have finished my speech, said what I needed to say, and then before that night was over, surely after everyone left, that would be the first thing that I addressed. Like, the nigga wouldn't be done unzipping my dress before I was getting in that ass about what he said. And because now it's gone viral. So now the whole world has seen your man embarrass you. It wasn't just the people at your wedding, at your reception. It's me and everybody on this live and everyone else who is now seeing your man embarrass you. I can't get with that. I can't get with that. Harbito says, if it was my sister getting married and this happened, sir, meet me in the lot real quick. No, for real. For real. Like, it's going to have to be some answers. You're going to have to answer for that. You're going to have to answer for that. And whoever posted that video, whoever put that video out there, I would be upset with them too. More upset because now I'm embarrassed. I wouldn't necessarily be upset with them because they were recording at that moment, because I'm sure everybody had their phone out. But I would be like upset that now the world has to experience this with me. When I was with my ex, I'll tell this story. We went to a birthday party once, and you know how girls talk when you got stuff going on with your man. You like, ooh, girl, I'm sick of him. I'm tired of him, whatever. And so we went to my friend's birthday party and we showed up to the party together, obviously, he and I. And so my friend, whose party it was drunk and said, oh, y'all still together? Y'all back together? Like that. And so he got so irritated, text me like, oh, you know, I'm on your ass when we leave here. Like, it was this whole big thing. So I couldn't even enjoy the rest of the party because I already was like anticipating what was going to happen when we left. I knew we were going to argue. I didn't know how far it was going to go, if it was just going to go from a verbal argument or whatever. I did not know how far it was going to go. So I couldn't even enjoy the party. And people could tell, right? Like, they were able to see the energy between us, and that was super humiliating. You can make me feel like a lot of things in this lifetime, but a fool isn't one of them. I know that's right, Jackie. I know that's right. You can make me feel like a lot of you make me feel like a turtle. Make me feel like a motherfucking martini. Make me feel like a giraffe. Anything. Make me feel like a cotton ball. But to make me feel like a fool? No, sir. No, ma'am. No, sir. Not gonna happen. I agree with you 100%. But yeah, shit. Like we, and then my friend Genesis came to the party. I know I'm kind of skipping around. My friend Genesis came to the party, and he knew Genesis, so he reached out like, "Hey, Genesis, what's up?" And she just looked at him like, because we had gotten into it so bad that I was like, hey, y'all, I don't know if I can still do this, that sort of thing. But when you're in an abusive relationship, you go back and forth, right? 1 minute you want to leave, the next minute you can't imagine your life without them. It just gets crazy. But Genesis just kind of looked at him. And so I get a text like, oh, so now Genesis not talking to me? Like, what have you told people? All of this stuff. And it was just like, I was just paralyzed with anxiety because that happened. And so again, I like went to the bar, I started crying. So it's all of this like shame and embarrassment that's coming along because of this person's actions. And so I simply cannot imagine that happening on my wedding day. So that is that. All right. So the next video that I'm going to play, we kind of talked about this yesterday. If you joined me on Facebook Live for Randomly Rhonda, we talked about this yesterday. And I'm just going to play the video for you guys. And then you tell me what you think when we come back together. Hold, please. This the one? No, this the one.
Should she look a certain way?
Well, I work out. I'm
You
not
do what?
super fit. I work out. I'm not physically super 100%, like in that that super chiseled frame, but I really don't want something that's super, super heavy. I just don't like super heavy because I can't lift you up. If I can't lift you up, I'm not really making your day. Yeah, Kendra, I don't want something I can't lift up. I mean, for real. that I'm cheating them out of a good time. At least be about 175 or lower. And then we could have a good time. Is that too much to ask for?
So weigh as much as one of your arms.
No, I mean 175 isn't really. That's not too big. Let's do the Kendra cam.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
let me start by saying, right, you don't say. You're not super chiseled. Never would have guessed it. Let me start by saying that if your first thought about what you want in someone that you are going to date or something like that, if your first thought is what that scale looks like, you already fucked up. You're already fucked up. Like, people's bodies and what they look like and what you see on that scale could be two totally different things. Let me start there. As a woman who has been plus size since birth, as a woman who has been plus size since birth, it chaps my ass to hear people or listen to people talk about, oh, they have to be a certain pound. This man looks like a motherfucking baconator. Like, he looks like he ate all of Martin Luther King's dream. Like, this man looks like when the communion was being passed around, he got a handful of crackers. Sir, to get on the internet and say that a woman has to be 175 pounds or lower so that you can lift her up because she won't have a good time if you can't pick her up. Your back couldn't handle 175 pounds. And if you're in the gym, so you see, I work out. When is the last time you worked out? Because worked is past tense. So when is the last time you worked out? It wasn't that day that they did this video, and it probably wasn't 2 years before that. I'm saying this as someone who doesn't work out regularly, so I know. Real recognize real. I know. You have not worked out at all. You look like a triple dipper from Chili's. Yeah. You look like you supersize everything. But you get on the internet and say that a woman has to be 175 pounds because you want to be able to pick her up. And that wasn't good enough reason for me. Like, if you said, I really want to have more children, and so I would prefer a woman that's fit so that she could carry and wouldn't have a lot of complications, because sometimes extra weight causes more complications. Make it up. You could have told me anything. But to say because I can't pick her up and then we can't have a good time, what kind of good time are you trying to have? Because it looks like the only good time you're having is at the Golden Corral, at Ryan's, at the Old Country Buffet. That's where it looks like you have your good time. So to say that because you can't pick a woman up, that she won't have a good time and so she has to be a certain weight limit, I call bullshit. I'm just saying. And then, as much as I'm not a fan of Kendra G, the way that she read him when she said, oh, so like one of your arms. Correct. Like one of your arms. Because what? And if you watch the rest of the video, like, you could see when he stands up, you get to see all of him, which is probably double 175 pounds. He ain't looking like nothing. And then he, like, Kendra G has a singles app, and he was like, oh, you know, I'm on the app, I have my shirt open and all of this stuff, and you know, I look good on the app. And it's like, but we looking at you in person and you don't look like nothing. Not a bad looking guy. I'm not talking about him. I'm not body shaming him. I'm not doing any of that. Sir, if you're out there, I'm not body shaming you, but I just want you to get, you know, you got to do better than what you're doing. You got to do better than what you're doing. What you're saying doesn't make any sense at all. And I need you to make sense to us. I'm trying to think, have I ever had someone? Oh, I did. I went out with a guy that I went to high school with. He was like maybe a senior when I was a freshman, but we met like in our adult life, like went out in our adult life. And he was just kind of like boring, like he was a little aggressive. So after our first date, like I wasn't really feeling him, and I felt like he had just a lot going on. Like at the time, he was working for a local university that I had graduated from. And so I felt like that was a commonality that we had. And so I was talking about like how great of an experience I had there. And he went down this rabbit hole of how it's a horrible institution and all of this stuff. Like it's just bad, this, bad, that. And so the date was just kind of negative. Like, I'm like, did you just need someone to vent to? Like you just needed like a sounding board or someone to talk to? But yeah, after the first date, we didn't really, we never went out again, that's for sure. But he would like reach out to me and I was just kind of like, no, I'm good. And baby, when I tell you, he called me everything but a child of God. It was you fat this, you sloppy that. And if you know me, you know me. I ain't never been sloppy. Fat, yes, you're correct. But sloppy, never. But I'm a fat this and I'm a fat that, and don't nobody want me, and this, that, and the third. And it was crazy. Like that, I feel like when you are a heavier person, that is the first thing that people go to try to insult you. Very first thing. You could be shoveling snow, and the first thing that someone will say to you if you offend them, your fat ass out there shoveling snow. You could be knitting a scarf and you piss somebody off, and the first thing that they're going to say, look at your fat ass knitting that scarf. You need to make a bigger one. Like, we have to get away from that. We have to get away from weight always being the first thing that we run to when we want to diss somebody. Like, it doesn't work anymore. It literally doesn't work anymore. Maybe when I was in the second grade, I would care about somebody calling me fat. But at this point, baby, I'm so motherfucking fine. Please add fine to that. Fat and fine. So yeah, I wish that man the best. I hope that he finds a woman that is no more than 175 pounds so he can pick her up and, I don't know, carry her on his back or whatever he wants to do with her while picking her up. Good luck to him and good luck to her, because God forbid she gain a pound. God forbid. All right. So I have one last video. Hey, big baby. It makes me laugh because clearly that's all you have. Exactly. That's all you have. You can't say I'm ugly. You definitely cannot say I'm ugly. You can't say that I smell. You can't say that I'm broke. Like, you can't say none of that. You can state the facts. Am I fat? Correct. By your ruler, sure. I like to say thick as fuck, but you know, if I'm fat by your ruler, fine. But that's about all you can say, and it's no longer an insult. All right. Last thing that I am going to share that we are going to discuss. So I saw this post on Facebook. I'm going to post it on the screen. I'm going to share my screen so you can see it. I'm going to do a little read aloud and then we're going to talk about it. All right. Minnie F. Baby says, so I asked this guy on a date and we went 8 at the Mexican. I'm not really sure what Minnie F. Baby was trying to communicate in that sentence, but if I had to decode it, she was saying she went on a date with a guy and they went and ate at the Mexican restaurant. I believe that is what she's trying to convey. Minnie F. Baby, please don't let me put words in your mouth. If that's not what you meant, I stand corrected. It just is always funny to me when people try to read other people and there's all these grammatical errors. It just gives me a little ick. So when we got done, the waitress gave the tab to him and he then gives the tab to me. So I asked him, why is he giving me the ticket? This man had the nerve to say he shouldn't have to pay for a date he was asked on. So we at the table going back and forth and I called him gay. Because what straight man would expect a woman to pay the tab? This man became real disrespectful and started calling me out my name. Then he just left and I was stuck paying the tab. Mind y'all, I had to call and ask my mom for the money because I didn't have it. Minnie F. Baby, where are your friends? Where are the people who love you, who would come to you and say, delete this, take this down? Where are your friends? First of all, you starting with all of these grammatical errors, so I'm not going to take anything that you say seriously because you're not even speaking plain English. Let's start there. Then your very first sentence says, so I asked this guy on a date. Most dates, I'm going to tell you all a story about this other one, but most dates that I have been asked on, I pay. Even with my boo now. If I ask him, hey, Poppy, let's go to dinner. Hey, Poppy, let's go grab lunch. If I am initiating or asking him out, the understanding is that I'm going to pay. Now, does that happen all the time? No, because he takes good care of me. So he will pay some of the time. That's cool. Sometimes I ask him out and he takes care of it. I ain't mad at that. I can't be mad at that. But she said that she asked him out on a date. The tab was brought to him, which most people do. Most waiters and waitresses give it to the man. Some sit it down in the middle of the table now, but most of the time they give it to the man. He gave the bill to her. Hey, you asked me out? Here's the bill. She immediately comes with what she thinks is an insult, calls him out his name, and then is surprised when he calls her out of her name. You cannot sit across from somebody with burrito tacos and margaritas and call them out their name and think that they just gonna sit there and take it. Where they do that? But the premise is like you asked this gentleman out on a date. So it was his understanding that you were going to pay. Now, perhaps if you hadn't have acted a damn fool and called him out his name and did all this extra stuff, maybe he would have paid, right? Like, we don't know. Maybe he would have decided, let me treat you. This has been such a pleasant date. Let me treat you. You didn't even get a man a chance. You immediately started calling him out his name. You were immediately disrespectful, and that was unnecessary. Totally and completely unnecessary. And then the biggest issue was that you didn't have the money. So why are you asking anybody out? Why are you going out, period, if you don't have any money in your pocket? Especially if that hasn't been communicated. If my guy want to take me out, I'm going to tell him up front, babe, I ain't got no money. And he either say, okay, well then let's reschedule, or no, but it's cool, I got you. But I'm not going anywhere with no money. Who is raising these young women? Like, who is raising young women to believe that men are a meal ticket? That's not the case. I don't go anywhere without no money. I don't give a damn if my credit card is maxed out almost and I got $50 left. I'm going to bring that credit card. Because what I'm not about to do is get stuck in nobody's restaurant and calling around asking for people for $75 to pay a meal that I knew that I didn't have money for that. Minnie F. Baby doesn't appear to be a child. She don't appear to be a teen. I'm looking at her picture. I'm giving her every bit of 30. So that means at 30 years old, you should know that you should not be leaving out your house to go anywhere. Talking about I'm going out to eat to the Mexican. She said she was going to the Mexican. That you shouldn't be going to the Mexican without no money. I'm just saying. So I am just shocked that she went to like her answer to him asking like, you not paying the bill, was to call him gay and say, oh, what straight man doesn't pay the bill? Paying bills ain't got nothing to do with sexuality. Because I'm sure there are people who are part of the LGBTQAI community that's paying mortgages and rent and picking up tabs and all of that, just like people who don't identify as any of those things. That's just ignorant. So, and then to be surprised that he then turned around and called you out of your name, like, what did you expect? You thought he wasn't going to say nothing or have anything to say? He was just going to do what? I don't know. So, yeah, good luck to Minnie F. Baby. I hope that you learned your lesson. I hope that you don't leave home without emptying out your piggy bank or whatever it is that you need to do moving forward. But don't go out with, he said, please, Minnie, do not come. Minnie, do not come. Do not come. Kamala told us, do not come. Do not come. Minnie, stay home. Because you're playing with the church's money. I'm not understanding why that wasn't computing in your head. Can't understand it. Cannot understand it. All right, y'all. That is all that I have for the night. Looking over my notes. That's it. Remember to please, please, please like this live, share this episode. Thank you guys so much for giving me grace with all of my technical difficulties that I had in the beginning. I'm going to get it right. The third time is going to be the charm. When I go live unfiltered in March, no technical difficulties. We're going to be on and popping. So thank you guys for being here. I appreciate it. Please follow me on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Yes, follow me on all the socials at Rhonda on the Rocks. She had enough money for that Milano long sleeve. Absolutely. That wasn't $2. She should have sold that shirt so she could go to the Mexican. That's what I think. Follow me at Rhonda on the Rocks on all platforms. Really excited about what I have upcoming. Just excited about what God is doing in my life. I know that I may not come across as a woman of faith, but I 100% am. And I'm just really excited about what God is doing in my life. And I appreciate all of you guys being here. Share this, repost it. I'll post some clips, all of that stuff. I appreciate y'all. Thank you for being here. Love you guys. Have an excellent week this week. The last week of Black History Month. Enjoy it to the fullest. Love you guys. Bye.